Again, in the interest of moving this forward, because you got 1 month, right? 1 month to Valentine's Day. So if you have 3 email exchanges over 3 days, and you meet once, well, you still need time for these phone calls, but you now see that you can't do a lot of phone calls, right? Because you've got to get to know the person, you've got to have some night dates. We're already going to be in February by then. So, couple of phone calls. Now, here's the most important thing, and I don't remember if it's something we're going to cover later, but you could find somebody fabulous. Don't let the rest of the world disappear. You've got a goal, February 14th. You've got to date a lot of people.
That's an important. Now, what are the issues about personal safety that women really need to utilize when they meet someone from a dating site?
Well, you know, no matter what they tell you, you don't know. So you've got to obviously be in your own car or Uber going to meet that person. You don't walk out into a dark parking lot alone. You say, lovely to meet you, and say goodbye at the table, and then say, I'm just going to go to the ladies' room. Or this day and age, it could be a crazy woman too. If you're a guy, unless you're a big guy and a strong guy, you might not want to walk into a dark parking lot, you know, alone with her either. So, you know, a lot of this sounds like, I mean, just women, but, you know, be really aware. If you don't like this person, it might even be worth walking in the other direction from the parking lot, because you do not want to continue this. If there's something creepy, if there's something weird, you've got to get as far away from somebody as fast as you can. That's why you don't make dinner dates. If you can make a lunch date, that's really smart. If you can make a date for coffee or a drink, that's really smart. Don't make a dinner date, because that's a very long time. And a lot of people who are going to invite you are falling into 2 categories. So if you're somebody dating men, so if you're a woman dating men or a man dating men, so if a man is going to invite you to a fabulous restaurant, he falls in one of 2 categories. He's a great guy, he's a generous guy, he doesn't like to go to junky restaurants, and figures if he's going on a date, he might as well go someplace nice that he'd like to go to. Or he's a guy that nobody wants to go out with, at least he thinks that way, and he thinks if he invites a woman as wonderful as you, or a man as wonderful as you, to a great restaurant, then he's got a chance that someone's going to say yes. So you have to really figure out, you have to really imagine, what are the needs of these people? And again, safety first. So you never get into anyone else's car. You don't allow yourself to have a car problem, and if you do, use Uber. You don't have too many drinks with a stranger, because you don't want to let your guard down. You don't want to let yourself get talked into anything. And tragically, you've got to be very careful that nobody's slipping anything into your drink. So you do not get up in the middle of a meal with a drink there and drink it when you come back. You don't, because we know enough about date rape, don't we? So be absolutely cautious. And if you're a woman, always have pepper spray on your keychain. And not your keychain in your car, not your keychain in your house, not your keychain in the other handbag. I am deadly serious now. If you're a woman and you don't have pepper spray on your keychain, and it isn't with you when you leave your house, then you are not thinking safely. And you need to change your attitude, because there's not a place on the planet Earth when you can be absolutely safe. Not a place, not a city, not a town, not a village. And the best thing is to be safe, and then you don't have to worry about it. And particularly if you're somebody who's wearing 3-inch heels or 4-inch heels, well, remember, running's not an option. And please know that the biggest risk to women after high-heeled shoes is long hair. So if this is all new to you, please send me an email. I will be delighted to send you a file about all the different things you need to do to stay safe all the time on dates and in public places. And I don't want to mention it, it's depressing and upsetting, but you just need to know that.
Yes, you're really big on that, and I appreciate that, Susan. Don't put yourself in that vulnerable position. Now, what part does chemistry play in the first in-person contact with someone?
It's everything, because this is not your banker you're meeting. This is not your teacher you're meeting. This is not your neighbor you're meeting. This is not a good friend. This is the person who, for most of you, is going to be the one sexual partner you're going to allow yourself once you commit yourself to this relationship. And, you know, again, it's not a good or bad, right or wrong moral thing. It's because, again, there are too many sexually transmitted diseases. So you're looking for somebody that you're going to be thrilled to have sex with for as long as you want to have sex for the rest of your life. So this person better be really hot. I mean, really hot. And a lot of people don't think about this. They think about compromise. They think about, oh, I better settle for this and I better settle for that. And it's a disaster waiting to happen. So make sure that the photograph turns you on. Make sure that when you talk to the person turns you on. Make sure that when you meet in person, the person turns you on. It is non-negotiable because this is what you're looking for. A hot date who then might turn into a partner.
Okay, let's explore this. With chemistry, sometimes when it's really hot from the beginning, and sometimes people say it takes longer perhaps to develop, how many dates should someone really go on if they're not sure about the chemistry?
Well, personally, I don't like to waste a lot of time. So when I was dating, I would say, once or twice. But many years after my normal dating, history, I did decide to go on a date with somebody. And I spent hours and hours with this guy. And I really didn't feel any chemistry. I wasn't sure. And my time is very valuable to me now. I'm not wasting time. So I decided I would just, as I said goodbye, I figured I'm going to kiss him to see if there's any possibility of chemistry here. And there wasn't. So it's a question for you of how much time do you want to waste on this man or this woman if you don't feel chemistry. And I say don't waste a lot. You certainly don't want to waste their time because they could be finding somebody who thinks they're fabulous, even if you don't. And there are a million fish in the sea. A million. Millions and millions and millions. 8.6 billion of us on the planet. So no point in settling because it won't last.
So without that chemistry, there's no spark, right? We don't want to settle for that. Well, I know it's time for us to go into a clip. Would you be kind enough to tell us what this is about?
Absolutely. It's a relationship show. So we're going to show you a little bit of a show that GiGi and I did some time ago, which is actually about long-term relationships. And this is interesting for you because this show tonight is about what to do to get a hot date in a month. Now look at a little bit of difference because this is about long-term relationships. And please enjoy. If you are skilled, if you are enlightened to whatever degree you are, if you're conscious to whatever degree you are, you're not going to want to do that for the rest of your life. The trick is the 6-part conversation where you bring yourself to peace. Then, just by bringing yourself to peace, thank you for showing that, Fred. And the different parts of the 6-part are on the screen for you right now. So if you bring yourself to peace before you speak, then A, you're not going to trigger other people. Now, if they are getting triggered, you're not controlling the world, you're not controlling the universe, we're not God. So if they get triggered because you're calm, it's that much easier for you to bring yourself to peace and them. So that's a whole different way of having a relationship, isn't it?
That sounds wonderful. And
you know how to do it. I've seen you.
I have plenty of opportunities for practicing. No, I'm getting good at it.
Isn't life great how it gives us these opportunities? We're so lucky.
There you go. We know we're not alone. Oh.
Right.
Well, okay, let's explore this. I know another key, another key attribute in any relationship that works is having that ability to really be present. And could you explain why that is so important?
Yes. You know, the more conscious you are, the more present you are. Well, first of all, it changes everything. It changes your experience of being alive. It also allows you to really interact with people in a peaceful and powerful way, which you cannot do if you're triggered and unconscious. If you are present, and I teach skills that allow people to become more present. So if you're present, then you have a sense of where things are going before they get there. That gives you plenty of time to transform the situation you're in. It gives you plenty of time to plan, to organize your thinking, to organize your action, to motivate other people around you. So life becomes very, very different.
That was a fun show, Susan, and I really enjoyed that. But now we're going to focus on Valentine's Day, and I'm curious how you would suggest we can nail someone down for that big event on Valentine's Day.
Just be your most irresistible. If you're your most irresistible, then people will want to keep dating you. You have a goal. Valentine's Day is February 14th. Just think about that. Think about everything that this person that you've picked as your Valentine's date, think about everything this person has told you that he or she values and enjoys and appreciates. And I'm not saying do things that are against your morals or your religion. I'm not saying that. But meeting that person's needs is the way you're going to get your own needs met, isn't it? And you only have a month, so it's not like you're going to have to go, jogging and be in a marathon, because 30 days is too short amount of time to do that anyway.
What about someone hinting at Valentine's Day, or what would you suggest? How should they bring up this subject?
Well, you have a lot of different options. But the safest, if you're really shy and you don't know if this person is going to ask you out, then the best thing to do is to create an event yourself. So get together with some of your friends and create a party, then invite this person to the party. And even if it turns out you don't want to be with each other, you'll have a date for the party, and you can handle it any one of a million ways, either before, during, or whatever during the party. So the key is getting the date. You have to just stay focused on having a hot date for Valentine's Day. This is really important. And it is not about Valentine's Day. It's about you learning how to control your mind. It's about you getting additional skills. And it's about you creating a life for yourself that works. This is just an example.
Okay, I have a story about that we'll get into later if we have time. Now, what if you think that the person is dating a lot of other people? Should you keep it going, or should you really give it up fast and look for someone else?
Well, if you're dating somebody based on this show, and the purpose is a Valentine's date, you're probably not in a committed relationship in the first days or weeks. It doesn't make any sense. You don't know the person yet. And therefore, if you're not in a committed relationship, you need to be dating. A lot of people are so sentimental that they meet somebody and they have a good time over coffee and they've decided, this is my new girlfriend. This is my new boyfriend. And it never works out because you cannot make a decision about somebody you don't know. So the smart move is to keep dating with the same kind of commitment to results, the same commitment, just as if you were looking for a job. If you were looking for a job and you had an interview on Wednesday, don't tell me that you wouldn't be looking for other interviews. Of course you would. And if you really like the company, but they didn't give you an offer letter or make you an offer, you're not going to stop going on job interviews. That's just really an unsuccessful strategy, right? The same is true here. The same is true. Okay.
That's a great reality check. Now, is there anything that someone can do to speed up this possibility of being asked out on Valentine's Day?
Yeah, when I say be irresistible, I'm not kidding. I am not kidding. And we're talking about hair and makeup if you're a woman. We're talking about a great haircut and shaving if you're a guy. We're talking about additional wardrobe options, no matter who you are. We're talking about being interesting. And if that means you have to figure out how to be interesting before you meet somebody for a date, or figuring out something interesting to say before you get on the phone, do it. It's great. It's better to admit that you're not very interesting and do something about it than be stuck on this idea that I want to be loved for just the way that I am. The truth is that people who are more attractive have more successful lives in our country and most other countries. People who put more attention to self-promotion and personal transformation and evolution do better. You know, I've been working on myself. That's my #1 project for 1,000,000 years, and I'm not stopping. And that's why I've had all these marriage proposals. It's not a coincidence. It's that these 16 guys thought that I was exactly what they were looking for. And when you go on a date, your job is to get asked on a second date. That's your job. Your job on a date is not to decide why you don't like the other person, because you could do that with anybody. But the job is, and particularly if you have a goal called Valentine's Day around the corner, your goal is to get asked out on a second date. Because you wouldn't be there on the first date if you didn't think that there was something about this person that attracted you. Because you went through the profile, you went through the red light, green light, you went through the phone calls, you found out that this person had enough on the ball. Now your job is to get this person to like you because you want to be asked out for Valentine's Day.
Well, that sounds so lovely and very encouraging. I like that. Easy to find faults, but the goal, the focus. So once that you are dating someone, when it gets to be February and you have an event lined up for Valentine's Day and you're continuing to have a great time together, what can go sideways?
So many things. So when I talked about don't bother with all the negatives, a lot of you have a habit of criticizing instead of focusing on getting more of your needs met. And it is a suicidal strategy, to quote Dr. Marshall Rosenberg. You're never going to have a better time. And I was talking to a good friend last night, and she called me. She told me what a horrible day she had. She told me how much she dislikes everybody. She told me, you know who it is too. She told me how this didn't work, and this didn't work, and this didn't work, and this didn't work. And she said, at some point she remembered to say, and how was your day? I said, I had a great day. She said, oh. I said, yeah, you know, when I have enough money to pay my bills and do what I need to do, and I have clients who are excited to talk to me and learn from me, and I've got my health, it's a wonderful day. Silence on the other end of the phone, right? Now, if somebody's really pointing in the negative direction, they can hate you if you sound the way I do, but that's fine. because you can't have fun on Valentine's Day with that person, because that person's going to be not liking the party and not liking you and not liking the people and not liking this and that, right? So you want to be very, very positive so that you can only attract very positive people, because very positive people are the most successful people in the world. They don't destroy universes day after day.
Thank you for helping me remember to count my blessings. Perfectly put. So what if a few days before you, let's say, decide that you really want to see them, or you don't want to see them, excuse me, then should you still go?
Thank you. Yes, because this is about your brain, this is about your skills, this is about you, this is not about them. You're watching a show called How to Get a St. Valentine's Day Date That's a Hottie. That's what you're doing. Your job is to get a hot St. Valentine's Day date. Your job is not to quit. Your job is not to give up. Your job is not to judge the person that you came up with as not enough. Because is this the only time you would have ever done that stuff? No. Is that stuff you've pulled in the past? And that's why you're here listening to our show? You want to do what works. And what works is you play full out, 1,000% between now and February 14th at 8 p.m. or 12 midnight. You know, you don't quit on February 13th. You don't quit the morning of February 14th. You don't quit at 6 p.m. And for some of you, you're going to have to find a party or a bar or someplace at the last minute because you weren't able to have the skills you needed to get a date. But that's okay, because you can look spectacular and you can walk into a party or restaurant or a bar and you can end up with a St. Valentine's Day hottie on your arm, and you could end up spending the rest of your life with that person. So never give up is a big part of this.
That determination, very encouraging. Would it be the best idea to relax and make the evening unforgettable and enjoyable so that both people have the best time possible?
Absolutely. Again, you didn't pick this guy up or this one up on the corner, right? You didn't stand out there and go, oh, hey, sailor. You went through a process. So you narrowed it down. You checked very, very carefully that this was somebody who had a potential of being important in your life or important one night in your life. So of course you're going to be as nice as you can be. You're going to be as friendly and warm. And I said warm, I didn't say in bed, right? That's up to you, not me. But you're going to be friendly, warm. You're going to look great. You're going to sound great. You're going to be delicious and adorable in every possible way. You're going to have a great time. And then at the end of the night, you'll know if you want to see this person again. Now, if this person turns out to be horrible, then you're going to cut the date short in some safe and subtle way. But that's information for another show.
So once that they have actually secured this hot date for Valentine's Day, and they really are crazy about that person, what can they possibly do to make it the most fabulous evening of all?
Well, again, it's specific to who you are and who the date is. So there's not one size fits all in the dating world. So there are these 4 parts of the brain, and you've seen this map so many times. And so if somebody's all about success, thank you, Fred, success and money and power and all that, that tells you one way to behave and one way to dress. If somebody's a visionary and very, very peaceful and laid back and, you know, into nature and all that, meditation, that teaches you another way to behave. If somebody's all about safety and order and organizing and planning, that's another way for you to act. And if somebody's all about love and romance and passion and sex and connection, That's another way to act. And again, don't pretend to be someone you're not. You're only, in my recommendation, going to be dating this person if they are enough of those things like you. But if they are enough of those things like you, then you know exactly how to show up. And if not, send me an email and I'll explain it. You can have a free session and we can talk about it.
Beautifully put. Now, I know it's very important that we are indeed in the driver's seat in our own life, and although you can't control anyone, as Susan says, you do have power when you master these skills. And we do hope that you do take advantage of Susan's 1-hour complimentary telephone session, and it doesn't matter where you are in this world. And Susan, I'm excited. I know that you have a new announcement to make.
I do. So I am so excited that I was just accepted as one of the trainers on sparkle.com, which is a brand new spiritual training site. And it's from Scandinavia, which is really exciting to me. So that's a whole new part of the world. So it's sparkle.com, and I believe that there it is, Fred. Thank you so much. And if you're on my mailing list, you'll be hearing about it. If you're not yet on my mailing list, this site has teachers you've never heard about, I've never heard about. So by all means, sign up or send me an email, and then I'll be able to give you the updates as I learn more about them. Thank you.
Nice. And I'd like to remind everybody to please enjoy Susan's Allan Ask the Love and Relationship Coach column in our local Santa Barbara Family Life magazine, which is available online at www.sbfamilylife.com. And Susan's new website, www.heartspacesolutions.com, or Susan at susanallen.org, and that free hot phone number complimentary is 805-695-8405. That's 1 hour. And Susan's YouTube, that is youtube.com/Susan Allen /2001.
For 130 plus videos. So that's the point.
Beautiful. A lot of information. I'd like to share with you that the